I want to talk more about the sudden death of Adam the Woo. And for those who don't know him, go look up his videos. But I want to talk about what he represents and what the loss represents for the Disney community, the Midsummer Scream community, all these communities, the Walt Disney World community that he was a part of, all these fandoms. Adam started YouTube at a time when social media was really social and it was fun. So, around 11 years ago, I started dabbling in social media, not taking it seriously, not being a content creator. I wanted a fun place on the internet where we could share Disney parks, love of Disney parks, and just having fun and do meetups and stuff and not have drama because there was a lot of drama in groups. So Facebook groups were taken off, and people like Adam the Woo and Justin Scarred and Fresh Baked, they were all taking off too. And there's others, Paging Mr. Morrow. I'm trying to think of women creators that have been around for a while, and they're not coming to my brain. I don't know how long Megan the Magical Millennial has been doing it. But you had all these people starting Facebook groups, and we all kind of knew each other or were like tangential to each other in the Disneyland community. I did not know him personally, but I met him, ran into him, and then I kind of know people that he was friends with, kind of thing. Not close. I don't run in those circles per se, but we're all like tangential, right? And my group, it's Disneyland California Resort Fan Society. It was hopping, and we kept it drama free, and we used to do meetups, and we made friends. And it used to be before reservations and COVID, I would go to Disneyland and I would post on Facebook, "Hey, I'm at the park. Who's here?" And then all these people would be like, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here." And then I would just go meet up with people, and we would just traipse around Disneyland in these big groups. So those social media vloggers like Adam the Woo and Justin Scarred, who is a friend of his and who is grieving. I saw some of his posts, and all these other people that started back then. It was just fun. It was like you would get on YouTube and you would just talk about whatever and just have a good time, and people would watch your adventures. And it wasn't, of course, there were professional-ish things, but it wasn't like everybody has to be a professional content creator and you have to fight the algorithm and, you have to post a certain way and you have to look a certain way. It was just fun. It was just a free-for-all. So him dying suddenly at 51 is so tragic, so unexpected, really, really sad. But on top of it, there's like a whole legacy there of when vlogging was just good fun from regular people, and they happen to get a lot of followers, but they're not like famous people. I mean, if you run into any of these people at D23, at any of the parks, at Midsummer Scream, at anything, they're just going to chat with you. They're just going to chat it up because they're regular people who share their fun. And I try to do that too. I can't be super consistent because I have a homeschooling kid. I've homeschooled my kids. This is my 20th year. It's my last one. My youngest is graduating, and dance mom. Both my kids competed in dance, and they started dancing 16 years ago. I used to be a dance teacher, and I used to do professional theater. So it's been like a family thing doing these dance competitions, but it's a lot of work. So years ago, almost 11 years ago, when I started my Disney group, I started doing YouTube videos too for fun. And, it didn't have to be a thing. Like you could just do some videos and then people would tell me, "Oh, thank you for videoing that because I can't go to Disneyland." And I was doing them mostly for people in my group. And it was just a good time. And boy, what we have lost. Social media has become algorithms and it's become creators, and everyone has to be so professional or they have to have a niche. Everyone's like, have a niche, have a niche, have a niche. And it used to be that people just got on social media and were social and talked. And So Adam the Woo is part of that. And people don't understand if you're not in the Disney community in particular. And I know this is true with other fandoms, but I think Disney is especially because we have the parks and we go together with friends and we hang out and you get to know people with passes. There's just a real camaraderie there. I was a vendor at the Disneyana fan club last year, and then I had to stop doing shows with my artwork. I'm an artist. This is my travel account, Heather Ann Wonders, but Heather Ann Studio is my art account. And I had to stop doing in-person shows because I have a lot of stuff going on with my kids. And this year's my daughter's senior year. So I couldn't commit to that until she's like off on her own. My son's also graduating college. So it's a super busy time. And that all ties into my point of like, you know, there are the like pro creators who have all their equipment and they have all their stuff and they create this like curated content. But there was a large space for fun and people who were just like being themselves and having a good time. And they could get a ton of followers and they weren't like going under management and all of a sudden they're like buying a studio or renting a studio. You know, a lot of creators, they start out just being themselves and then all of a sudden they get under like a management company and then they're like in a studio and they get away from that real persona. But a lot of these Disney creators are like, they're going to Disneyland and they're going to Walt Disney World and they're going to other things and they're just fun. And if you run into them, they're just talking to you and it's just a community. And if you run into any of them and you talk to them, they're like regular people who just happen to start committing to making these vlogs. And there is some of that. I'm not saying it's all gone. But I am saying that things have drastically changed. And especially when people started making big money for their content, it started getting way more curated. And now mostly what we see is ads. Do you know that I have somebody that I knew from like 20 years ago, not quite 20 years ago, maybe close to 20. And I saw her today at the hairdresser, but I missed her because she was going out. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't stop her because I didn't want to scream across the salon, right? But I haven't seen her on Facebook. And I went and I scrolled. I found her account. That woman got married and I didn't know. She had gone through a horrible divorce and she is happily married and I did not know because you don't see your friends anymore. So Adam the Woo passing suddenly is a great loss for all these communities and for the people that follow him, like just going on his adventures with him. It's a great loss for his friends and family, obviously, but also it's just reminding me of like a time that is lost and a time when social media was truly social, when you saw your friends post first. You could just get on and talk, and it didn't matter if your video was a little blurry. It didn't matter. And yes, as people got more followers, they got more sophisticated. You know, you see people walking around. Of course, someone like Adam the Woo with that many followers would have some equipment, but it's still regular folks. And that's what I aim to do with my content. And I just show you things that I find fun. And I don't have a million followers. I don't have a ton of followers, but I hope that my content does bless people. And those of you who have are in the Disney community and who know what I'm talking about, I'm just sending love to you because I know that it's hitting a lot of people really hard. And it's also, we have been hit hard for a while about how the community has changed. And those of us who are like admins or founders of Disney groups, and we've seen how things changed and not for the better. So much love. And anyone who stuck around with me to the end here, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sticking with me for this talk. And I really hope that the powers that be in social media make it social again. Make it social again. Go back to showing us our friends and the people we follow and letting us create community. And I wish Disneyland would get rid of the reservations, because the reservation system has impacted that so badly. It used to be that I would post or I would send people messages, and then like 14 people would end up meeting up, and we'd all grab a seat somewhere. We'd all go on the train or whatever. We'd grab coffee. We'd grab some food. And with the reservations, it's like a job. I do meet up with a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends I go to the park with. I don't always post all the pictures because not everyone wants to be posted or whatever. But it's not the same. I want that back. I want that back. I want social media to be social again. We don't care about curated influencers. Some people do, but people are getting tired of that. I want real. I want the Adam the Woos of the world. And I want the people who are just going out and having fun and like saying, oh, look at this cool thing over here. This was super fun. And showing people travel content because they can't go. I had people getting cancer treatment who said, I'm so glad I'm in your Disney group. Thank you for posting because I'm watching it from the hospital. I mean, that's the real blessing of social media. Make social media social again. And Adam the Woo, RIP, and condolences to everyone who is grieving the loss of a really fun creator who brought a lot of joy and a lot of fun to the world.